Hello, beautiful people. I'm coming up tonight to talk to you a little bit about abundance. I feel very inspired as I did my third day of out of 10 days challenge. So these days I've been taking over quite a few challenges. I have 21-day challenge. I have 10 days challenge. I'm like, oh my God, but until I decided to make them, it was just a fun story because, when you decide to do a challenge, you need to show up every day. And that's it. That's what I that's what I do these days, challenges. So today I wanted to talk to you about abundance, and so I did a really interesting short webinar on Coaching Rio International. So I'm gonna post it after this video because I'm realizing now that I didn't post it in my page, and I wanted to actually invite you to watch it and to share it to people who are going to benefit from it, because we did some work on it. We did some meditations, to break the loyalty to poverty. I would when I finish that video, I'll share it, and I will highly recommend you for you to watch it and do the practices, because they will be very beneficial to you. Because we need to work on these topics. As you guys know, we live in a time where old patterns, old things, they need to fall. They need to stay in the past. We can't carry them anymore because it's been too heavy so far. We know there will be other things that they will change, and at the same time as the energy of the earth is changing, we also need to change. We need to make this change, but we need to make some effort. And you know what? I've realized that now actually the universe is not giving us time. It's actually making us do the work. It's not waiting for us. It's not, oh, okay, I'm gonna do it next week, oh, I'm gonna do it next month, oh, I'm gonna do it next year, oh, I don't feel like doing it. You must do it. That's how it feels like. The universe is pressing us to do it, because if we don't want to move on the next level with the earth together, we're gonna suffer. We're just gonna keep on suffering, and we have no time. So I would recommend you to do it. And if you can't even wait even more, you can book a session with me. Of course, I'm here. We can do family constellations. We can work on anything, any problems that you have. I'm really suffering to not suffering, but I'm finding really hard to explain how beneficial family constellation could be. Even though it's called family constellations, it's not only about family problems. It's about any problem that you have in your life, because all the roots of your problems, they are within the family behind you. So you might not know how it works. Well, it works 7 generations back, because you are exactly the same as your parents, exactly the same as your grandparents, and that's how transgeneration memory has been passed on to us, and we are carrying some of the traumas that they had. And we're trying to clear it. And sometimes when something really traumatic happened to our family, it needs 4 generations to go after this. Let's say there was a war, and they need to 4 generations in order for somebody to come and heal this trauma. Can you imagine? These are 4 generations. This is a lot. If you are lucky, you can come to 3. If you are very wise, and if you're doing the work, and if you're not scared to do the work, because sometimes it could be pretty scary. And people have lots of resistance. So going back to the abundance and to the loyalty to poverty, I want to talk to you about this. What is abundance for you? How do you see it? Do you see it as opportunities? Do you see it as money? Do you see it as materialistic and expensive things? What does abundance mean to you? Are you afraid to ask for, from the universe, God, please let me, live in abundance? Maybe your family lived in poverty, and you're like, no, my family lived in poverty. How I can be more richer? Very often, if you have noticed families who, for example, they were poor, and then after that somebody, an uncle or somebody else, had become rich, and they there's a little bit of jealousy. There's a little bit, oh, he's a different one. But this person had to break the fear of not being excluded. So, for example, because I think one of the biggest fear in us is not only from deaf, is not only from speaking in front of camera or in public, is also from being excluded and rejected from the family. And that's when people decided, okay, I'm gonna break this loyalty to poverty. I don't want to be poor anymore because I suffered when I was a child. It was too much for me. I don't want to live like that. I'm gonna try and make everything possible to be rich. And then they're not scared to be excluded from the family, because they can be, because people who didn't manage to do it, they kept their loyalty to poverty. They'll be like, oh yeah, he managed to do it but we didn't, and things like that. Maybe you know some of the things, maybe you have seen some of those families. And this is what it means to break the loyalty to poverty. And not only, you can do it yourself as well. If you look at this, if you try to remove these limiting beliefs, and of course I very much welcome you to watch my my video from I'm gonna post it after this video, and at the end I have a meditation where we do that, and this will be very, very beneficial to you. You're gonna see at least where you're at. Of course, it's not gonna happen from one meditation. It is a lot of work to be done. There's particular stories that they're pulling you back. So for example, I've had somebody who said, so I had a client who said, oh, I'm rich, I have money, but I'm not letting myself to enjoy it. I would always go to very cheap hotels. I don't want to go to very expensive ones and things like that. And I'm suffering because, I love my woman, my wife, and she always wants us to go somewhere where it's more expensive, and I can't do this. And this person was not allowing himself to to go and get something better, some better quality, some nicer places, some nicer hotels and things like that. And this was because they've lost a child. So and sometimes the stories that you've had in your family, they might not make sense in terms of abundance, they might not make sense in terms of money, but they are the thing that is stopping you. Or sometimes the abundance might not flow because you've had somebody in your family who wanted to be seen. This person was excluded, for example, or he was killed, because I had this a certain session like that. Somebody was killed, and because this person wanted to be seen, he wasn't allowing the business to grow, because they had to acknowledge this person, they had to give him place in the family, and from there they could allow the abundance to flow into their business and everything, because otherwise they were suffering very much. They couldn't find people to work for them and things like that. So it could be varieties of stories. It's very individual, and the story might not even make sense to you, and how this can be related to money, but losing something could be related to abundance. You can get to the top and then you can lose everything because you're loyal to somebody who lost something. So I'm gonna share the video from the other page which I did for abundance, and I would highly recommend you to watch it until the end and listen to the meditation where we're gonna break the loyalty to poverty. Thank you very much for watching me for today. I hope that was interesting for you, and watch the other video and let me know how it was for you. Thank you and bye.